Hi there, my name is Joe and this is 9 common Thailand mistakes to avoid. My wife Emily and I have been traveling around Thailand for about a month now and we are experts at making mistakes. And because of that, we've put together a video highlighting some of the more obvious ones so that hopefully when you travel to Thailand you won't have to make those same mistakes. Here we go.
Okay, our first mistake to avoid is don't have the same cultural expectations as you do at home.
Yeah, this is a big one. You really want to be willing to embrace the Thai culture when you get here. You don't want to come in trying to shake people's hands. You want to learn the things that they do when they greet. They fold their hands and they bow and they say Sawadee Kap or Sawadee Ka if you're a female. They really seem to appreciate it when you put out a little bit of effort towards learning their culture. That's why you're here, is to experience it. I hope that's why you're here, to experience a different culture, learn a little bit about how other people live, and to embrace a different way of life.
When you're talking to people, there is going to be a language barrier, but everybody speaks a little bit of English, almost everybody. So just be patient, be willing to say the same idea in a couple different ways, use hand gestures. You know, a lot of times people here, even though their English is probably fine, when they want to tell us a price, they'll pull out these little calculators, just this little handheld calculator, and they'll type the price in the calculator and show it to you.
Yeah, it's actually kind of fun sometimes because of the language barrier, and you have to use physical gestures and a little bit of charades and calculators and different things like that to get the point across.
All right, mistake number 2 is don't be afraid to eat the way the Thais do.
Yeah, everybody knows that Thai food is absolutely delicious. But what you might not know is that in Thailand there is street vendors and little tiny restaurants, sometimes so little that it's literally like just a little awning put over in somebody's front yard with a little sign out front, handwritten. We just the other night had a place that had duck with rice or duck with pasta in a really nice sauce that it was in. It was only 70 baht, so it was, like $2.50 or something like that. You want to get out there and you want to support these little vendors. I mean, it helps out their family and you really get an authentic taste of Thailand. Sometimes you run into places that serve food that maybe you wouldn't be comfortable eating. Squid eggs, quail eggs, octopus, just things that maybe if you're an American or not from an Eastern country that you wouldn't be used to. I say give it a try. I've been trying all kinds of new things. It's not like I like every single thing that I try, but man, I've tried some things that have changed my thoughts about food. So embrace the Thai food, try some new things, and taste Thailand.
Okay, point number 3, and this is really important. Don't forget to use sunscreen and bug spray.
This sounds really obvious. As obvious as it sounds, we have run into situations where both things have come up for us. We brought sunscreen with us, and for the most part, we've been good about it, but I still ended up getting sunburn. I think you got a little bit sunburned too at some point. So you do need to be really cautious. It's hot here. The sun is pretty extreme. It's awesome, but it will be happy to burn you if you don't have sunscreen on. The other thing is the mosquito spray. Both Emily and I don't really care for mosquito spray or bug spray, but there is a time and a place. When you're hiking in the jungle or you're in like a dense area, especially for standing water, the mosquitoes will absolutely rip you apart. We just the other day had that experience. We were at the Phuket Botanical Garden, and the gal at the front that gave us our tickets said, "Would you like to buy some mosquito spray?" And we both kind of laughed and said, "We're from Minnesota, we can handle it." But it was really bad. We both got eaten alive by the mosquitoes. So don't be afraid to use some mosquito spray when it's appropriate. And it's pretty much always appropriate if you're outside in the daytime to have on sunscreen. So I know it sounds obvious, just don't forget.
So one thing to consider when you're putting on sunscreen is what activity you're going to be doing. When we went snorkeling, I was floating in the water and I didn't consider putting sunscreen on the back of my legs, and they definitely got burnt. It was actually kind of funny. I hadn't really considered that would be a part that I would have to worry about, but it was a little uncomfortable for a few days. Mistake number 4, don't stay at just one beach.
Did you know that there are 44 beaches on the island of Phuket alone? So don't just go to one beach. If you get a hotel like at Kata Beach, even though it's a beautiful beach, although it is a little bit on the crowded side, I think a lot of people we've noticed actually just go to that same beach, day in, day out. There are so many different beaches with different vibes. The water feels different at different beaches. The current in the water feels different at different beaches. The sand feels different at different beaches. Some beaches are more rocky. Some beaches have this really fine white powder sand that just feels amazing on your feet. So you want to get out and experience some of the different beaches that Phuket has to offer. Seems like they might all be the same, and they all are great in their own way, but they're different, and don't get stuck just hanging around home. Get out and see a bunch of the different beaches. The fifth mistake we want to help you avoid is don't miss out on non-tourist destinations.
Yeah, you came here on vacation, you're looking at all the tourist sites, and everything is promoting go to this beach, go to this island, go see these elephants at the sanctuary, but there's so much more to do. And if you just get off the beaten trail a little bit, you're actually gonna see Thais that are living a normal life. It's just cool because it's like what you're doing at home, but not the same. And that's just, I think that's a really great experience to enjoy a different culture. So while we've been here, we've made a point to get out away from the tourist areas. We've found some reservoirs, which is where they store their water at, but also have, a lot of them have a walking path that goes all the way around. And it's just really gorgeous scenery there. Those are all at a slightly higher elevation. They're not at sea level, so it's a bit cooler there as well. We found a few different parks with walking trails and different sports courts, like tennis courts and basketball courts and soccer courts. There was one with a hacky sack court, which was kind of fun to see a bunch of adults playing hacky sack. I haven't seen that in a long time. A lot of the parks do dance fitness activities in the evening. So if you want to get a fitness class in, show up, I think it's like around 6:30. They do this, I don't know what to call it, like a Zumba type dance aerobics class. If you are into that kind of thing, don't miss out on that.
All right, the sixth mistake we want to help you avoid is don't let transportation limit your activities.
Right, so when you get here, if you want to walk anywhere, you're going to quickly find out that getting from one place to the next is a long, hot walk amongst the traffic, which is crazy. So you're going to want to figure out the public transportation system, which isn't super intuitive, but it is doable. So the first thing to know about is the Smart Bus, which goes all along the west coast and then kind of cuts across the southern tip to go to the east coast just a little bit. The total length of the bus ride from the north of the island, the airport, to the south of the island is 2 hours. So it's a pretty long journey. But you can go that entire length for only 100 baht, which is about $3. And that allows you to explore any of the beaches along the coast there. So like we mentioned before, there's 44 beaches, so that's a lot of places to explore. The pickup spots for that bus are well marked. Now there's another option called a songthaw or a blue bus, which is kind of like a big pickup truck with seats in the back. Songthaw actually means 2 rows in Thai, so there's 2 rows of seats. This is not as well marked. It's actually even cheaper. Depending on how far you go, it can only be 20 baht, which is less than $1. They're much more sporadic. They come roughly once an hour. There's no set schedule. It kind of depends on how busy it is. Finding the pickup points, if you're not from around here, you don't have somebody telling you, that can be a bit hard. But it is a cheap way to get around, and it has a bigger system. So if neither of those public transportations work for you, there's also the Grab taxi option. And this is basically their taxi system. It's just using the Grab app, super easy to download. You type in your destination, your phone automatically knows where you're at, and it'll tell you how much it is, so you don't have to worry about haggling. It is probably a little bit more expensive than if you were able to haggle, but I mean, not always. And it's nice just to know what you're going to pay up front, and then the taxi driver, the Grab driver, will just come exactly to where you are, pick you up and take you exactly to where you're going to. You don't even need to know how to pronounce the name of where you're going because they have it on their phone. So yeah, the 3 options for getting around if you don't have your own set of wheels is the Smart Bus, the Blue Bus, or the Grab taxis.
Well, another route you could take would be to rent a motorcycle. Renting a motorbike in Thailand opens up a lot of freedom. You can choose when you leave, you can choose to stop at several different places on the way to where you're going. You can choose to go places that would be probably tricky to get to in a taxi or a songthaw or a smart bus. Basically, the whole island is yours to explore. It's a really beautiful thing having a motorbike. I will say that there is a pretty heavy learning curve to riding a motorbike in Thailand. Traffic is heavy and the rules here are a little bit different in the US. So if you're a person that isn't comfortable in heavy traffic or making quick decisions or learning on the fly when it comes to driving in a new country, it might be better to stick with the taxis. But if you're the type of person that likes to learn on the fly, jump into a new adventure, get out there and try new things, rent a motorbike in Thailand. It's actually really fun. There's definitely some adrenaline and some thrills that you get from it, and it's really great being able to go wherever you want, whenever you want.
Mistake number 7 is don't haggle over everything.
It's great to get a good deal, and when you come to Thailand, you know that there are good deals to be had for sure. And there are. When a vendor gives you a price, it's not a bad idea to offer about half that price and then see what they come back with. But you don't want to keep going and going and going. You want to just go ahead and probably take that second offer that they give you and just accept that maybe another Thai person would have gotten it for a little bit cheaper, but you're actually helping these people out. They have families to support, they're nice people, and they rely on the tourism. So be a little bit generous. Don't haggle down to the absolute bottom price that you can get, and just help support the Thai people and their families.
When you're haggling, remember that if you're haggling over 100 baht, I know that sounds like 100, that's a lot. It's $3, okay? It's $3. So don't worry about it so much. Be willing to let them have the win.
All right, mistake number 8 to avoid is don't be confused by the metric system.
Yeah, so we are in one of the majority of countries that uses the metric system. So that means that temperature is in Celsius, not Fahrenheit. Distances are in kilometers. Weights are in kilograms. Area is in meters squared. So when you see a sign that has the temperature and you see a number that says maybe 35, if you're like us from Minnesota, we're like, oh good, it's not gonna snow. It's above freezing. Well, yeah, it's above freezing. It's like 95 degrees. The other thing is when you're looking for a place to live, they're gonna tell you the size of the apartment in meters squared. So we were looking at a couple of units that were 35 meters squared and then 40 meters squared. And I thought, oh, 5 meters squared, that's not such a big deal. You know, I'm thinking about feet squared back home. And if you have 5 more feet squared in a room, it's like basically the same size. Well, 5 meters squared is like more than another bed. And that actually makes a pretty big difference when you're staying in a small apartment. Well, our final mistake to avoid, mistake number 9, is don't be afraid to get out of your comfort zone.
Yeah, you didn't come to Thailand to just stay in your hotel or your apartment or your condo all the time. You want to get out there and experience things. In my opinion, you really are living life when you're outside your comfort zone. Something that Emily and I weren't super familiar with when we got here were massages, and Thailand culture is all about getting massages, and we had to kind of get outside our comfort zone and experience that, and we love it. Massages are great. They're unbelievably relaxing and really affordable in Thailand. So also getting on the motorcycle and getting into traffic in Thailand and doing all that was getting outside the comfort zone for us, and it's one of the most rewarding parts about the whole trip. Getting on the motorcycle and driving around itself is really fun. Getting out there and talking to the Thai people, like we talked about earlier in the video, when you're ordering food or just anytime you get a chance to have a social interaction with a Thai person, you should take advantage of it, even if the language barrier is there. Just try to have a small conversation, get to know them a little bit, experience the Thai people for who they are. They're wonderful people. And also, once again, something that we touched on earlier in this video, trying some new foods. We think they were chicken hearts or chicken livers, we're not sure. And they were pretty good, but they were scary to eat, honestly. I don't regret it. I don't think I'm gonna have them again, but I'm glad that I tried them. So getting outside your comfort zone is good advice in Thailand, and honestly, it's good advice in life. So there you go.
Well, there you have it, our 9 mistakes to avoid when you're traveling to Thailand. We hope that this was helpful for you and helps you avoid some mistakes and enjoy your time in Thailand even more. Have you been to Thailand? If so, and you have some mistakes of your own that you'd like others to avoid, please let us know in the comments below. And The final mistake to avoid: don't forget to like and share this video, and subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed our content. Thank you.
Bye-bye.